It is finally here. I teased this show a couple weeks ago. It's going to be a regular thing on this channel. This is Mondays with Math, where I'm going to be talking weekly with Mathology, who won BBM, the regular season contest in BBM last year, had the highest scoring regular season team. His team just dominated every single week, put up the biggest score in the entire contest. Also took sixth place in the Dog Bowl last year. Has had just a ton of success in these contests. Now we're going to talk about a variety of contests, I think, throughout the summer. We're starting today to talk about the marathon contest, which I think is really well suited for somebody who had a lot of success in the regular season last year. So I think we're going to try to put together some teams that can score a lot of points week over week and put up a big score throughout the season. We're going to bring Math in here to talk about it. I'm going to take off the music here, throw him on the stage. Mathology, without any further ado. How are you doing today?
Feeling great, Neil. Having a good day. No one got hurt today at work. No auto accidents. Things are looking good.
Is that a rare day with no injuries?
No, I mean it's good, but it happens. You know, we've gone, I think, like 70 days from our last kind of major one. You know,
do you have like a whiteboard, like days since an injury? You do have that?
Every Friday we have a company meeting, and I let everybody know how we're doing. We got like 125 employees, so we're pretty big.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah, and you're in Vermont. You're not even in Burlington, Vermont. You have to be in kind of a smaller. I mean, Vermont, like Burlington, is a big city, which is
well, we're like in the greater Burlington area. We're like 2 towns over. We do a lot of work in Burlington.
Okay, I was just in Burlington 2 months ago.
I sent you a message. I was going to see if you wanted to meet up for a beer.
You sent me a message?
Yeah, I think it was like I'm not like extremely tech savvy with socials and stuff. I think I might have responded on either on a stream or just off a post on X.
I totally missed it.
You're running in that marathon, right? Is that what you're in there?
I competed in a marathon relay with some other people. Yeah, if I had seen it, I totally would have met up with you for a beer.
Yeah, I was going to let you know some Rex, some of the good beer in town.
Yeah. Well, so I have friends. One of my friends that I ran the half marathon with, like, grew up in Burlington, and then another lives 25 minutes outside of Burlington now also. So,
nice.
so I went, I think, a lot of the great spots, but yeah, it's a bummer. Okay. If I had seen that, I totally would have met up with you. That's the thing with X. I don't know if you have this issue, but like, I don't get notifications for everything that happens ananymore.
Right.
So that's, I guess probably what happened is I just did not get a notification. Well, next time we'll have to get together. All right. You made a slide. So Mathology, I actually don't have a lot of experience with the marathon contest. It's one that I've played a little bit here and there. I've never had any success at it. Math actually put together a slide for us with some of his thoughts that I'm going to pull up here. Let's see, what can I use for there we go. Here is I believe this is the first screen. So this is a show where I'm going to host, but Math is kind of going to lead the charge because he's had success in these types of formats before. He's been thinking about this a lot. We've DM'd a fair amount over the past couple of weeks. I know he's given a lot of thought to this. So this is one of the things we found is just the ADPs are a little bit different in the marathon versus BBM, other contests. What do you think of this? Like, do you think it's correct you can see your quarterbacks. Josh Allen is up 7 spots versus his ADP in BBM. Joe Burrow up 13 spots, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that this is how it should be? Do you agree with the way people are playing it?
Well, I'm not really in kind of like big take, like this is the market. So it's like, how do we attack the market? I didn't really play a lot in the marathon last year. It's just like I kind of went into this season. It's like, I built a shipper and I didn't get really rewarded for it. I know I got lucky in some other contests. So I really want to go hard at this thing. And kind of, I'm not trying to do exactly what I did last year, but I think there's definitely some nuggets that I learned last year that I really want to apply going into this year. And that was, a lot of it was 3 quarterback builds. So with the quarterbacks moved up, that means that we got to get aggressive early to get our guys. And then take advantage of the news of these, a lot of people call them falling knives. Take advantage of some of these and hopefully that we hit them right and we layer those 3 quarterback teams or those 3 team builds with these running backs. I know we want to be drafting wide receivers, but I think we got to be very selective of where we grab those those wide receivers in those rounds.
Okay.
Find those sweet pockets for wide receivers with the right archetype, and build a little bit more of a heavy quarterback, heavy running back build. As we see, and as we're hearing more of some of the NFL trends, I know that Rich Rebar at Sharp Football Analysis, he's been coming up with some great stuff on his trends reports. I don't know if anyone subs to them, but they have a very good price, cheap price, to really learn a lot about how the NFL is tacking the cover two, and leaning on the running game and short passing attacks. So that kind of adds to find these running backs in these better offenses that have good game environments and good team environments. So that's why I think that early running backs, early quarterbacks, heavy starts will be successful in this marathon contest. I'm doing a lot of that in BBM too, but especially in the marathon.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's also like similar in the eliminator. Also, it's a little bit different than classic best ball, right? Because in classic best ball, you're really trying to backweight your production. So a lot of us do things like zero RB, where it's like, you don't have awesome early production from running backs. You're just hoping to later in the season really come on, have your running backs start crushing. Whereas here, it's like your scores are equally important every single week of the season. So you really need players that are going to crush at every position. So it's a little bit more. It's a better idea probably to attack a lot of these heavy running backs early, just like you're saying. Do you have pockets in mind of like wide receivers? You talk about like trying to attack specific pockets of receivers. Do you have specific pockets, specific receivers in mind that you want to attack in a format like this?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit to tier-based drafting. I think there's some hero wide receivers that you got to take in the first half of the first round that can really supercharge your team with Chase, Lamb, and JJ. But then after that, can you build a hero with St. Brown? Maybe it's going to be kind of tough. But those are the things that I'm like thinking about, is like, how can, like, what's the likely outcome with, like, say, a Thomas hero? Like, how does that play out?
Are you referring to hero wide receiver, like just taking one early receiver and then more later? Interesting.
Exactly.
I've never like thought about it in that way of just like when you take, I think of hero running back, you take one running back early. I've never thought of kind of the inverse of that, of just like, here's your kind of anchor wide receiver, and then spread them out throughout.
I mean, that's what Chase was last year for everybody. So what worked well for last year was really, it's a very unique year. So I don't want to go off of last year, because the Bengals crushed it for everybody. The BBM winner, my team, the marathon winner, it was heavy Bengals, and it had Chase, a double Chase and Burrow. They were just the have to have it guys. Are we going to have that same team environment this year? Maybe. I'm definitely taking some stabs. I got some things that we got some slides that will show us some of the things that, one of the reasons why I saw Cincy the way they was, not just because the market didn't love them, their prices were so good, but they graded out pretty well doing the exact same exercise that I'm going to share here today with everybody else.
Sure.
With their strength of schedule, O-line play, how many projected overall points, not fantasy points, but just team points as Vegas think that they're going to score this year. I can kind of just blend those all together. And we can kind of show that a little bit. And hopefully that also is a conversation starter of then how do we leverage that against ADP? But one thing that I'm a very a macro thinker. I really try to keep it very broad and not get there's so much good context with the micro, the player take version, all the great stuff that the community does, and all the, from Sharp Football to Josh and Hayden to even yourself, you guys know a lot of the statistics, the player statistics. So I kind of outsource all that. And I'm always thinking of, like, on a macro approach, how to see each team environment through the forest. And I call it kind of like, how am I going to go in? Like, I do a lot of maple syrup in the spring. So, like, what tree should I tap this year? And I look at that in a same approach with, I only have 18 picks. I'm only allowed to grab 18 trees, or I have 18 taps. So what trees am I going to tap into that's going to produce me the most sap for my build? And I kind of take that very macro approach to how I attack these draft rooms.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think I'm more of a macro guy also. This year, as I'm getting more into fantasy football content, doing it myself, I'm more and more getting into the micro takes, but that's also been something that I historically outsourced quite a bit as well. Absolutely love the very Vermont reference to maple trees, tapping into maple trees. When I was out of my friend's house, half an hour outside of Burlington, he had all these lines up on the trees, and I was like, "What's going on there? Like, are those clotheslines? What's going?" And it was like, "No, that's exactly what he was doing." Pretty funny seeing that. We don't have that going on here in Minnesota, so that was cool to see.
Actually, did some quick research. You guys do quite a bit of tapping in
do we really?
You're like St. Paul, Minnesota, right?
I'm in St. Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
I did some. Yeah, you guys got some good sugaring operations. Just check them out in the spring.
All right, maybe I need to just look a little bit harder for them.
Yeah. But it's kind of like what fantasy teams are going to produce, the most fantasy goodness is what I'm looking for. And now how deep do you go? Do you go 3, 4, 5? Do you really game stack or team stack it? Or do you, just grab one player from that team, layer it all in and try to make those bets layer on top of each other so you get that best outcome. Because again, if you look at last year's winner or even my team, you're looking at 100, roughly you want 150 points per week is what you're looking for. You come from the DFS, the salary cap. Again, you're trying to build teams for 200 points, right, Neil?
Yeah.
That's the magic number. If you can build a team that scores 200 points, you're going to be very, very profitable most weeks, other than the ones that goes up to 230.
Right.
So same thing with the underdog in these contests. We're looking for, if you can get 140 in the marathon, you might be like top 20. If you can build that team that averages 140. But again, we want that ceiling to have those extremely spike weeks, because if you do have a couple down weeks, they'll level themselves up and you'll hopefully be where you need to be at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you did a few slides here. Do you have anything else to say on this slide, or I think we've covered this?
This is what the market's doing. I think following the market, quickly downloading the ADPs, looking at the trends. Like, no one's covering this contest like they are with BBM. I mean, Levitan does a great job with Market Mondays, and the ship chasers will do ADP chasing tomorrow. So there's plenty of movement. Would have to say, with this contest not filling at all, I think it's at 20% right now.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of content on it. So I think there's a lot of edge to be ahead of the news. And to be able to build some pretty sweet teams right now, if we can get these, if we can get the marathon to fill a little bit faster. I've been jumping in a lot of slows, but again, you can't attack the slow clocks with quick news, so it makes it hard sometimes.
Right. With that in mind, I should let people know we are going to try to do a draft at the end of our presentation. We're going to go through the slides and we're going to try to get into a draft. So we would love it if you would draft with us, because sometimes these drafts sit for a while. We're not going to wait around for 20 minutes for a draft to fill. So if you want to do a draft with us, make sure once we're done with the slides, you are ready to jump in with us.
Yeah. So, I just think it's like, if you haven't, if this contest interests you and you want to jump in, I think it's to look at the ADP, because they're a lot different. You can be surprised how quickly running backs and quarterbacks get wiped out. And then stacking, it's really hard to stack in the marathon. There's a lot of people just grabbing stuff. I mean, the barrel will never fall to 72 in the marathon. I don't think you're ever going to see it. He goes a lot earlier.
13 spots earlier. Yeah, that's pretty significant.
It's just like, you're not going to see those heavy falls on the quarterbacks. People aren't going to push. They're just going to grab those projected points, try to get that. They're always looking for that kind of medium outcome. And I don't think that's a smart way to build this contest. I think trying to stack and even going above ADP, and if you can get some fallers, if you kind of bully the room at quarterback, then you see everybody chasing, trying to catch up at quarterback, and you're seeing those wide receiver, tight end, sometimes a running back fall, and you're scooping up some nice value.
Yeah, people are playing in min cash. This is still a contest where you need to, like you said, put up a huge score to really make a lot of money in this contest. So you can't be playing for that median outcome. You need to be playing for the top 0.1% outcome if you want to make serious money. Yeah, that's a good call. All right, we're going to move on to the next slide. First, do want to acknowledge chat. Good to see many of you here. What's up, Steve? Thad says 0RB is dead. I'm still doing it, but I'll probably just lose my money again. What's up, Steven? Chris, good to see you all here. Robert says Mathology gives the best simple advice: just attack good offenses. Yeah, it is. It does seem simple until you're faced with decisions. We'll talk about that a little bit more. What's up, Meg? Good to see Bindles, all of you here. I also, Index of Suspicion says, I fuck with Mathology. He seems crazy like a fox. Just the way you win in this game is being crazy like a fox. All right.
There's many paths to the mountaintop, and everybody likes to take the easiest one, or they think is the easiest one. But being different, I think, matters.
Yep, for sure. So you put this slide together, tapping into fantasy goodness. I think this is a reference to people, the lower the better, the lower the score, the better the purity, right? So this is a reference to tapping into maple trees. So just so nobody's confused about what that means. And you gave rankings and number scores. So what I see here immediately, one thing that I don't like to see is I'm drafting a ton of the Texans. Like I'm taking a ton of Jaden Higgins, Nico Collins, CJ Stroud, and they have a really poor purity score here. So my immediate thought is, are you just not drafting the Texans? Am I making a big mistake to be drafting as much of the Texans as I am? But actually, let's start with a more macro. What went into this? Like, how did you make your purity scores here?
So I took 3 different kind of rankings for O-line from Sharp, PFF, and ETR, blended them together, got an average, because they're all O-line rankings. It's kind of flavor of whoever's ranking it. So some are very close, but some are way off. So I kind of wanted to put those kind of together to get a decent average of what we think are going to be good offensive lines. So I took that. And then I grabbed roughly what Vegas thinks the team's going to score, how many points, total points, that these teams can potentially put up. And again, that's going to be a kind of a median thing. So, but it's a nugget, and it's an indicator that who's going to score more points than the other team. And then I grabbed strength of schedule, and I put that in a nice little kind of a generator, and it kind of kicks this out. It's not really weighted. It's just more of like, right now, the Bills got an easy schedule. They got a great offensive line, and they're going to score the most points in the NFL. So that's why they look so much better than your Texans, who have a piss poor offensive line, tough schedule, and not like they're kind of a below average total points that Vegas thinks they're going to score. So that's why they're bad. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't tap into it. It just means, like, if you are, they're not probably a Stroud, Mixon, Collins, like a huge team environment. It's like maybe they're just a passing attack offense that you want to tackle. Maybe it's just Nico Collins and leave it at that, because hopefully maybe it condenses and he gets, all the targets. Or if it's Kirk, but to layer that team bet, are they going to be that team bet? Are they going to be that Cincinnati Bengals of last year? Probably not. Maybe it definitely in the range of outcomes, if that all. Because the Cincinnati Bengals also don't have a great offensive line either. They just were in that throw at all costs, we need to win games mode. So there's outliers to this. This isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's try to give you some signal of which teams you might want to try to invest in and build those team stacks.
Do you try to pick out outliers here or there? So the Texans a couple of years ago would be the perfect example of nobody really saw it coming. Suddenly they're a really powerful offense. Do you ever for certain teams maybe say, okay, there's one team that maybe doesn't have a great purity score, but I'm going to tap into this team a little bit more, just make the bet for this team that maybe the Titans actually are going to surprise people quite a bit, and then they're going to be a lot better than expected. Do you try to do that at all? Or are you just I'm just going to take a macro approach, just assume that the field is or the people who are giving the ranking the stuff are generally right, so I'm just going to not ever do that. I'm just going to tap into the good teams the most and still just take one piece of the Titans here or there. How do you approach that? Do you try to make any kind of predictions like that?
Yeah, no, I'm going to layer in a team like the Texans will be one for sure, because I think the quarterbacks, I think that they in this kind of model, they they get hurt really bad because 3 straight people think that they have the worst offensive line in football. So they're dead last in 3 different sites. So that's why their score looks so bad. But however, their passing attack has shown some ceilings in the past. So there's a way that we can get that in. But they're going to be one of the other 2 teams, and I want to pair them with a Falcons, Tampa Bay. I want to pair them with somebody up top. That they're going to be the Bills, the Bucks, the Broncos, the Eagles, the Falcons. They're going to be my horses, and I'm going to layer my team bets in maybe with like a Texans. They're going to be that down the line, a surprise. So if they hit, then they're going to hopefully move that team up a whole lot faster with my bet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I'm realizing that the one example that I gave, the one that stuck out to me as a team that I sometimes, but I don't see it on the list. I just counted out there are 31 teams here. I wonder if it was just off the page where the Giants were. I reformatted a little bit to bring the Giants in. Do you know where the Titans got their purity score? Do you have any idea what that is? I'm guessing
Titans. Titans is right below the Jets.
Right below the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 88. Sorry, I might have missed that.
Oh, I see. Okay. Cool.
Titans,
It was just funny because it was like the one example that I gave. I was like trying to find it on the list, and then it's literally there were 31 teams here. Then that's one that I can't find.
Oh, Texans. I'm sorry. Did you say Texans or Titans?
Titans is what I asked about. Yeah.
Titans are 88.
Okay.
So they're right like middle of the road. So definitely a team worth, especially the cost. And that's what you always got to layer in the market value right now. Yeah. So they're ranked 20th.
Okay. Got it. My other question was, so you, like you said, you take kind of a macro approach. One thing that I often try to do is like teams with great offensive lines. I'm a lot more inclined to take the running backs on those teams, but sometimes like wide receivers, maybe I'm sometimes more willing to take shots on like worse offensive lines and just hope that it's not going to hinder them as much. Because like you can see like the direct, it's going to hinder the entire offense, but my assumption is it's going to hinder running backs more so than like the passing game if the offensive line is terrible. Like it's just going to change the way, maybe with the bad offensive line, Christian Kirk benefits because he's the slot receiver. He's just they got to get the ball out quickly, or like the running backs maybe catch the ball a little bit more. Do you try to think of it in that way at all from a micro perspective? Okay.
Yes, very much so. So I'm looking at those top 10, top 12. I want the running backs for sure. And the teams that aren't there, like the lower half teams, like the Pittsburgh and Seattle and Cleveland, I'm looking a little bit. Can these offensive condense down? Like, can DK Metcalf get all the work? So maybe like he's worth it. Or with Seattle, there's a boom bust player there with Walker, a lot of talent there. So do I want to completely fade these guys? No, but do I want to have a big team bet environment with these teams? No.
Right.
Again, how you get to the top is you get one or two of these guys that the offense is super condensed and they get a ton of the work. And those are the kind of those league winners that you need. That I had on my team last year was I only had 5 wide receivers, but they were 5 wide receivers on good teams that just steadily produced a lot of points each week and had some spike weeks at the right time.
You only had 5 receivers on the team total?
Well, I had 6, but one of them barely played.
Gotcha. Yep. Did any of these surprise you? Like I see the Bengals here towards the bottom. That one kind of surprised me. And anything else stick out to you in looking at?
Yeah. So again, like they're on track to score probably the 4th most total points in the NFL.
Okay.
But their schedule's hard. Their O-line sucks. So they can get back to where they were last year if they're in those same type of game environments. Which it could happen. That's why there's outliers to this, and it's definitely a team that I don't want to not have any. But with their pricing up high, it's one of those maybe bets that I kind of want to go against the market. Why everybody's drafting them, I want to pivot and say, maybe Dallas or Minnesota might be a better way to tackle. So when all those Cincinnati, if Cincinnati fails and they're a lot more mediocre than last year, and they're winning. They're not putting up 40, 50 points a game like they were last year. They're say more in the 20s. They say they're actually winning games and their defense isn't crap. They're winning 27-24. They're not going to lap the field like they did last year. So
when you were putting this together, was one of the factors, like, does one of the factors weigh heavier than the others? Like, for example, I mean, Cincinnati, like you said, they're expected to put up a lot of points, but they're still ranking pretty low on this list. It was just like the raw number of points they're putting up, not as heavily weighted, or is that just the other factors were so bad that they rank poorly, even with them all weighted the same?
Yeah, I wanted them all weighted the same.
Okay.
Just so then I can kind of then look into it, like you're saying now, to kind of say, okay, why are they so poor? I know they're going to score a lot of points, which is great, but their O-line stinks. So maybe I don't want to, load up on a bunch of Chase Brown, because there's a chance, in a half-point PPR, he's not going to, produce like he did last year if there is more people in the backfield, taking snaps away from him. He was getting 90% last. Is that repeatable? I want to think about that as I'm trying to make my bets.
Right. Anything else on this slide before we move on? Any other things that stuck out to you?
Not really. I mean, there was some shockers. Atlanta. I think Atlanta right now, with the market at looking at their ADP, other than the top two with Bijan and London, everybody else is very nice. Their pricing is very nice. Yeah. So that's kind of like I'm using that and also putting the lens of ADP when considering this. And, I do a lot of drafting. I'm kind of a volume-based drafter. I'm not just one or two teams, but I think you could probably do this with some of those contests too, with like the quirky single eliminations, where you're like, because it is kind of go get your guy season in these single entry 3 max, where you could just be like, I want to have 3 good team bets. And I think this exercise is helpful to be like Lions, Ravens, and Eagles. Like, how am I going to layer those 3 teams in with a single elimination? If those teams go burr, this team is going to crush.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to slide number 3. So you gave homework assignment. Are we doing it? We briefly talked about like doing something with the homework assignment. We did not come up with a prize for somebody who does well on the homework assignment. So,
well, yeah, this is to engage the viewers. If you're watching it later, if you're in here now on Neil's stream, drop in the comments at the end. Throw out the three or 4 team bets.
Yes.
Utilizing kind of those charts, the 3 or 4 team bets that you want to make, and see if you can do it pen and paper or on your computer if you want before you draft. Try to do that exercise. I think it's very important to think about what you're going to do before you go do it, and not just try to build the plan on the fly and start making panic decisions that we see all the time in the draft board content that we're all watching. To really try to go out, loosely use ADP to try to figure out how to make that team that can score 140 a week for you.
Do you want to review teams? Like we can have people tell us your team bets, drop the team in the Flannelverse Discord. By the way, free to join. You can find the link in the description of this video.
Yep.
There is a grade my draft section. Maybe I should start a new channel. But then maybe next week we can review some of the teams that people made. Would that?
Yeah, I think that would be a good exercise to like, because then that's kind of what I do is like I spend a lot of time looking back. I don't roster bait and post all that much. I think maybe I send some to Tyler and Bindles once in a while because I like their feedback they give me. And I think that exercise is helpful when you have legit criticism or feedback that then you can kind of tweak it. So you're not just doing the same thing over and over again, or you're just throwing these builds out and not fixing your mistakes. Something that I like to really do is go back and look, how can I make this a little bit better? Or if it's hedging a bet just a little bit, or being completely wrong on a running back committee,
Yeah. Did you make a lot of bets on Zach Moss last year? Because you were betting on Cincinnati. I struggled with the between Zach Moss and Chase Brown, kind of like different points in the season. I did luckily end up with a lot more Chase Brown than Zach Moss, but it was something I went back and forth on as you were trying to not make that micro bet. Were you just kind of taking shots on each of them, going back and forth, or were you just confident in Chase Brown?
No, playing the market. I played the market.
Okay,
Chase was cheaper, and then they flipped, and then I kind of went the other way when they flipped. I honestly think that the market is more wrong than it's right. totally, but I want to be with it. But it's just it's very smallly wrong in some things, not like overly wrong.
Right.
But or I should maybe word it, they're more confident in their ability than they should be. It's probably a better way to say it.
Yeah, and that's like, you know, we talk about like that's one of the things that Mike Leone found in his draft manifesto is like getting ADP values is like a huge thing. Like as far as like the success of teams are generally more successful if they do get a lot of ADP value, which tells me like there is some value to that ADP. Right. Like the market's not completely wrong, but then also, yeah, just taking advantage of slides where people in your draft room make mistakes. It's not the be all end all, something to pay attention to. And then you can, like you say, you're playing the market as it is that day. I did the same thing where it's kind of like, let the market dictate. Am I taking Chase or am I taking Moss? Because I didn't really have a great feel for it. All right. The homework assignment here, I'll just read it off. This is the Mathology homework assignment for you for next week. Try to design a roster that can average 140 per week and has a ceiling of 200 points. You want to tap into 3 to 4 team pure environments. You're going to have to post that in the description of this video if you want your team reviewed next week, and then post the team into the Flannelverse Discord as well, which is in the description of this video. You want running backs in pure environments. So you can, again, go back to his purity score here. Look for running backs that are in those pure environments. You want quality over quantity. What does that mean exactly in this context? Quality over quantity. Is that like as far as positional needs, or what do you mean by that exactly?
Archetypes, player archetypes. So you want quality at your running back and quarterback. You want good quality.
Okay.
And you can go quantity a little bit at tight end, but for the most part, if you can just stack your tight ends with your quarterback, you're good. Tight end matters to a point, other than, it's really the top 3, 4. And then after that, you can probably get away with a Frankenstein tight end room, but it's just, going heavy 0 RB, drafting 6, 7 straight wide receivers in this contest. I personally don't see it winning.
Yep. Okay. I see what you mean. So you mean like specifically quality over quantity, like basically for your starting lineup, right? So it's like, you're not trying to draft 6 running backs and just hope that one of them makes your starting lineup, like you might do in BBM. You're trying to have quality in your starting lineup. Yep. Generally, would that be okay?
Yeah. You want to build high floor with ceiling, and it's hard to do. It's hard. You want there's going to be some nice wide receivers, but you need to have that running back hit your flex probably 50% of the time.
Yep.
To build that high floor, high ceiling type of team.
Loosely use ADP. What does that mean?
Yeah, don't be tied to it.
Okay.
Reach if you have to, to get your stack. Look into it. Like, go ahead, grab if you want to get Allen and then pair him with another, like and Purdy's ADP doesn't line. Go ahead and get that Bill San Francisco team environments that you want. Reach ahead of ADP if you need. To build this exercise a little bit. And then you can kind of start feeling your pockets, because once you do this exercise, then you can start to know, pick 1 through 4, kind of that matrix of the puzzle. What type of teams are in there? 4 through 8, what kind of teams are in that on that draft board in those ranges? And then the last quarter, those types of teams. Then you can start, once you get your roster or your draft selection, your picked, 1.4 or 1.6, you start to know, okay, I'm 1.6. I'm going to pretty much mark up Detroit. I'm going to be able to start betting on Detroit because I know that they fall roughly plus or minus 6 picks in that realm. Okay. And once you do this exercise enough, it just becomes naturally, and you're pretty much a little bit on auto, and you can then kind of scoop up some of those ADP values because you already kind of know what pick 3, 4, 5 down the road is, because you have it kind of memorized of your team bets. And who's
just like regular best ball. Yeah. Like if you do it your first time, you're like, I don't really know where players are going to line up later. But once you're 100 best ball drafts in, it's like, I know exactly where the ADPs are, who's going to possibly come back to me here. That's and then design first, then jump into the lobby. That kind of goes along with that advice. So just like take a look at it first, maybe kind of figure out where ADPs might line up. Okay, nice.
Yeah, I just I think really thinking it through and writing it down ahead of time goes a long way. Not a lot of people do it. They just jump in a board, and then when they're on the clock, they're panicking a little bit, and they just making selections and suboptimal in the way that we want to try to build these super teams.
Yeah. Anything else on the homework assignment? I think there's just one more slide.
Yeah, probably right. I think that was kind of maybe just for the end of the show or just a talking point of just some of the things that I'm paying attention to.
Yeah, yes. It was just basically content recommendations, essentially, or like things that people should maybe look at.
Yeah, I wanted to get your kind of what you listen to. I was curious. I think it's great to talk with your peers and people. I mean, granted, Neil, I'm trying to crush you, and we get in a room together. I want to crush you, but at the same time, we can learn from each other. I'm a firm believer. Iron sharpens iron, and there's some things that I might need to consider that I don't do right that I can learn from you. And that's why I'm happy that we're doing this weekly, because I think hopefully I can make you a better player. And I'm really hoping that you're going to make me a better player.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love doing content with other sharp people, because then, like you said, iron sharpens iron. Always a good way to learn a little bit. Always a good idea to just maybe talk with people who might be able to change your mind a little bit, and maybe you get a little bit better as you go. I mean, I think the ETE podcast has established the edge with Ben Gretsch and Mike Leone as good as it gets, right? Like that's probably the 101 or close to it as far as things that I seek out every year. And it looks like that's similar for you.
Yeah, there's so many good nuggets, especially like how I want to build it with these big team environments. It's just like a lot of it's just really confirming my biases on part of it, but then it also makes me like, oh, I didn't think of that angle. I didn't think of that outcome, how that could work, or say there could be a lot more run heavy than I thought, and that, if that offensive line does stay well, so it gets me double checking my stuff, and it makes me kind of maybe higher on a team or maybe lower on a team, or maybe like I didn't really like that running game, but like now I got to reconsider that running game and jump onto those running backs a little bit more. There's just so many good nuggets. Listening to that, I even listened to it multiple times.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. I saw somebody in Pete's Discord yesterday saying that they'd been listening to it for like 4 hours straight. I'm like, I can't, because it's like I feel like I'll forget too much if I listen to it all at once. So I try to actually like spread it out, make sure I don't try to listen to more than one episode in a day, because there are so many really good nuggets from sharp people doing their own projections. A lot that you can learn there. Richard, I don't think I know Rebars. So admittedly, most of the content that I consume is not written. It's a lot of like video content. It's actually almost exclusively on YouTube. I don't even like seek out podcasts that often, which is, obviously a leak for me. I do some reading, but mostly it's like, if I'm reading stuff, I'm doing the research myself, just like combing through the Fantasy Points data suite or something like that, which is a good idea to look at what other sharp people are writing, because they are doing the work for you and then, making it concise. So I'll need to check out Rebars, because he's one of the sharpest minds in fantasy football. Odds and trends. Is that like a weekly thing? Does he just do it once? What is that?
He just came out, so it's like his big deep dive, and he's going through right now and really looking how the NFL is really adapting to the cover two. And he has some really interesting statistics on like how teams are kind of shaping and molding and coming up with different design schemes and condensed offensives where we're not so flat from sideline to sideline. They're like condensing their offenses really, really tight to try to like get quicker passing game, moving the chains quicker. And then also like just, we think that last year was a running back year. It really wasn't. We just had splash plays through the running backs, through, those player archetype talents that are outliers, really,
Right.
Cheat codes. Barkley and Henry were cheat codes, really.
Breaking off huge runs game after game. Yeah.
So like, and that really helps you think about, okay, who could be a cheat code this year? Who has that breakaway speed? Who has that offensive line that can get to the second layer to get these very skillful, talented backs to break an angle, and get to pay dirt,
right,
for us.
And then I'll just read off the rest of these. Fantasy Football with Josh and Hayden. That is a YouTube channel. First one I've ever seen where they used a ton of clips from games, which is always fun. Something that I didn't even know that you could do, and now I've learned that you can do them as long as they're like under 7 seconds or something. So yeah, always good to have those mixed into the podcast. Reception Perception podcast. That is Matt Harmon. I actually have not checked that one out. I'll need to look that one up because I know like the sharpest people that I follow all follow Matt Harmon's work with Reception Perception. So that is something worth checking out. What do you mean by a draft board content?
Yeah. So everybody that fires up a stream and jumps into a draft.
Okay.
From our buddy Tyler to the best one that's doing it with Overzet, I throw it on in the office. I listen to it and I try to analyze draft boards, see, I kind of know roughly a lot of people. I've been doing this for like 3-4 years now. So there's some people in the room that I'm very curious on how they're drafting. I'll analyze the board a little bit, listen to what they're saying. And, there's always some nuggets that you can walk away with these types of content. But again, they're drafting, and each room's different. There's not a lot that you can learn, but there's always a couple of nuggets I can walk away. But I can also see a little bit what the competition's doing and how they're building.
True. And speaking of that, immediately following this show, Tyler is going to be going live on the Fantasy Sanctuary. This show will redirect to that one. So if you're still here, it will redirect to the Fantasy Sanctuary with Tom and Tyler, two of our good friends. Great content there. They'll be doing some draft board content today with Jake Tribby. So that should be a fun episode. And then Coach Peak Index Discord. Yeah, it's $5 a month. It's amazing. Like if you don't have the Coach Peak Index Discord, you're making a huge mistake. Just well worth it. Really well organized by team. You can see all of the Coach Peak going back as long as you want. That's a great one as well.
These are a lot of them are like free, like Reception Perception. They're podcasts. I'm not a member to all of his stuff, but it's a free podcast that you can get on pretty much wherever your podcast can be found. Same thing with Josh and Hayden. It's free. There's so many good nuggets that you can have. Rich was they did a big $199 for the draft guide, and I'm sure you can still find a pretty good promo code for probably under $5. You can get a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to. I like Pat and ETR and all the guys, but I mean that's a lot. It's a lot of money to have these big subscriptions and the simulator and stuff like that, and you don't really need it if you have a process. You make your own process. You really don't need it that much. Plus, you can watch everyone that's using it, and you can get a good feel for their ranks, and you get a good feel for how you should build just by watching it for free.
Right. Yep. Good call. There's a lot of great free content here, a lot of great content out there. I'm trying to think what else I listen to the Leg Up shows. I think those are fantastic. The ship chasing, there's so much content that I listen to every week that I find it'd be hard to go over all of it. I also just enjoy using the Fantasy Points data suite. I use that just as a way to comb through the data myself. That's another thing that I always use to get a little bit better. And it's crazy how much you can how much we don't know. Even those of us who spend a lot of time on this stuff, every time I dig into something, it's like, man, this is I get surprised by wow, this player's target share. I just saw yesterday I was digging into Tutu Atwell, and I was like, his yards per route run amazing. I didn't realize Tutu Atwell had such a good season last year. It's always fun digging in a little bit.
I call it marinating. Just you just marinate, let all the content, everything, open mind. Especially when I'm driving home or, just having a cold one, grilling, just taking it all in and just kind of being very thoughtful with the information that you're taking in.
As Tyler says here, Math is the best process guy, very thoughtful and flexible. A lot of nice comments here from the chat. Meg says, go get your guys' season for sure. I'm shaking my head in agreement with everything Mathology is saying. Love this. Iron Champion's Arm. Yeah, everybody in agreement. This is fun. Another guy who was in the Best Ball Bash with Pete. Mathology in there. That was kind of funny. It was Math and I had basically decided to do the show a day before, or about a day before you went on the Best Ball Bash with Pete. So then I'm in a hurry. I was like, I think I'm just going to announce this on my show that we're doing the show together. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, all lined up really well. Again, I appreciate you for having these conversations. I honestly it's going to help my game, and I appreciate you having these conversations.
No, I appreciate you coming on here. Yeah, it was pretty. Math watch. I was on Best Ball After Dark with Pete, and I kind of told Pete, I was like, I'm looking for. I'd love to have somebody that I could do content with weekly. And Math reached out to me and was like, hey, I could maybe do that if you'd be interested. And I like immediately snap was like, yes, we should do that, because I've always enjoyed your content. Figured that this would be a fun show to do, even though like I don't really know much about the marathon. We can also look at other contests as we go.
Right.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun.
But yeah, even in the podluck dynamics, if you have a team that's scoring a lot of points each week, and it has that ceiling, like it's kind of luck of the draw. But maybe maybe that team that is a high team and it does place at the regular season at BBM, but it has that high ceiling, and that high ceiling comes at the right week, and you advance it, and you're in the right podluck. Like, I honestly think like the conversation that we're going to have with trying to build these, high floor, high ceiling teams can be utilized in all the different contests that Underdog has to offer. And it's probably same thing with DraftKings, if you know that scoring format in the lobby very well.
Yeah, absolutely. In order to be able to pass this over in a good time to Tom and Tyler, we're going to have to try to get into a draft quickly here. So we are going to I'm going to actually enter it right now, get into a marathon. So if you guys can help us fill this, it would be greatly appreciated. I guess these are 20-second clocks, which it does make it a little bit more, might be great time. If people get in now, unfortunately, we're only up to 3 right now. So we might be struggling to fill this one.
Yeah.
We're going to do our best. So yeah, if you want to do this with us,
it's hours, man. I think it went up 1 percentage point in a week. So it's also a great contest to draft late in the summer, right before the season starts, because I think there's going to be overlay. Potentially could be an overlay target for us.
Oh, for sure.
And news is going to be critical to help you advance and kind of maybe build that super team.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a pretty good chance we're not going to fill this one. I'm trying to adjust the screen as we're doing this, so I don't actually know where we're at right now. Here, let's try. Hang on 1 second. There we go. Are we making any progress here? We are up to 1, 2, 3, halfway full. So we're up to 6 full. We'll give this another 5 minutes or so to see if we can fill this. So yeah, if you want to try this out, get in here. We need 6 more for this marathon. Maybe I'll try like tweeting it out.
Yeah.
While we're doing this.
I can throw it on the chip. I know that's the thing is I don't want to be with everybody,
Right,
yeah. But yeah. I mean, it'll be a good exercise, and we can try to have some fun.
Yeah.
One thing that is nice about having a lot of good people in your room is a lot of people stay in their lanes, and you could build some fun teams that way.
True. That is helpful. Yeah, we're still sitting at 6 here. Let's see. I think Meg just posted something. Yes. There we go. Thanks, Meg. All right. Well, we'll do our best here. What one player that I am curious about after looking at your purity score for the Bills, what do you think of James Cook this year? Are you in on James Cook? He's a player that I haven't drafted a ton of. I see Steve Schaup in chat. He was the first person that I've done a show with, and he was like, I actually really like James Cook this year. I think, all of us are sort of betting against him from a, like, he's probably going to, he scored so many touchdowns last year. We're expecting a regression there, but Steve made some good points that maybe he's still a good bet. I don't know. What are your thoughts on James Cook in this format?
Yeah, I'm extremely high on the Bills and James Cook. I'm pairing Josh Allen with Cook a lot.
Okay.
I'm just saying that Buffalo goes Burr, and those two guys, that's, maybe 30 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns.
All right.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed to see. I saw Chess Liam do it with Pete stream today. I'm like, don't give people that idea. I don't think a lot of people are doing it.
Well, the nice thing is everybody's going to assume that that's just a homer take from Liam.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Taking all the Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, I like, I mean, he was going even cheaper earlier, and I think you were getting on the 4 or 5 turn. So I have some Jamar Chase with Cook and stuff like that. I'm hoping that will age like a fine wine.
I think part of it with like the people fading him is we always are looking for like the sexy new thing, and like he's just kind of a boring click. Whereas like for me, it's like I'm all about Omari and Hampton, like this rookie on a team with a good offensive line. I'm so excited about him, and then I just kind of forget the veteran. There's also like some like contract issue there. It doesn't seem like everybody's getting along that well, so maybe they just give Ray Davis more work. But yeah, he's probably a better click than most of us give him credit for. Do you also then take Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, and anybody else from the Bills backfield?
Yeah, not together.
Okay.
But for sure, yeah. I'm trying. I'm kind of leaving every draft with a Bill. That's kind of been my thing for a while. Trying to stack it up. I think Josh Allen's probably one of my most drafted quarterbacks so far in all my drafts. But I mean, do you watch the game? Were you watching the playoffs last year?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, didn't you think that James Cook was the best player in the field in that Bills?
He looked really good. Yeah, It's easy to forget how good he looks. Anytime you watch him in a game, watch some highlights of James Cook. He's actually like much better than we think he is.
He just would constantly just break. He'd just get the right angles, and he would just break that linebacker tackle, and he was gone. Yep. Again, he had that kind of cheat code like Barkley and Henry had, and they have a great offensive line, but this year they have a very easy schedule, so there's a chance for them to boat race early, and they're running the ball, and so maybe Josh's ceiling isn't there, but it's at Cook, and then vice versa. Maybe in those games that they do fall behind, then it's I think they can complement each other very well throughout the season.
Yeah. So are you on those teams? Are you also taking like another pass catcher, or are you happy with just taking those two?
Yeah, you can kind of push. You can push a wide receiver. I do like what's his name? Shaheed. No.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, there you go, Shakir. I do like him quite a bit. So I do tack him on, or I'll wait. And if I need somebody else, it all depends on where we out with the other picks that I've selected. But yes, I try to get 3 or 4 Bills if I can, if I have a Josh Allen team. If not, then it's just one or two. Trying to build out.
I'm going to try to pull up this on my phone so I can check when it fills. In the meantime, any interest in helping me set my rankings a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go into, actually, let me get in here first to make sure I don't miss out on this, because we are at 8 out of 12 right now. Again, if it doesn't fill in, we've already given it like 5 minutes, but if it doesn't fill in 5 more, we're just going to call it. We're on the hour. We're going to call it. We're not going to do it.
Yeah,
we're going to.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to go in and set some marathon rankings. We're not using the sidekick today. If we do this draft, we're not going to use the sidekick today. We'll maybe later on check ourselves with the sidekick, but we kind of want to just use our IKB brains today. All right. So going on this, I'm just going to add a few players and then see if you want to change the rankings at all on this group. All right, let's start right there. How do you feel about this list, like this order based on ADP? Is there anybody you want me to shift up or down?
So yeah, I pretty strong ADP. I one thing like I've been lately going back and forth is Gibbs and just Jefferson, Barkley, Bijan, that grouping there, where I do worry about Minnesota trying. I mean, you're a Minnesota guy, so I want you to talk about the local media and what's going on in town. I do think they're going to try to run the ball a whole lot more this year.
I do too.
Lean into that defense. So sometimes part of me wants to kind of move Jefferson down a little bit, Gibbs up a little bit. I really like Detroit this year. Again, just like last year, I think Barkley's right there. I have a hard time flipping Bijan over Barkley. I'm still Barkley over Bijan right now. So it's for me, it's Chase, Barkley. I'm almost going Gibbs over Bijan, but I do think Bijan offensive line might be just a little bit better and might be a little bit more of a condensed offense than Detroit, just because of the new offensive coordinating concerns of, we don't quite know what it's going to look. It could consolidate where it's just really three guys, very similar to Atlanta where it's probably just two guys.
Yep.
With a sprinkle of the third. I like that a lot. And then it's sometimes it could be Lamb over JJ. I'm kind of going back and forth with that. I'm trying to just making sure I'm at market with my at or above. It all depends on how the room shakes out.
All right, I'm willing to move JJ behind the running backs, but Lamb is a step too. I agree with you that that is a concern for sure. That the Vikings, I think they will run a lot more this year. I think they've set up to be more of a running team. I think I'm hopeful that they're going to be really efficient with the passing game to kind of offset that a little bit. I think
so. The only thing I worry about, and this is just the overall ceiling for Jeff. It's there. The ceiling is there. I'm not going to argue that it's not there, but their defense is really good.
Yeah.
And I think if they can just lean on the running game and win games, 24-10, they're going to, and they're going to kind of take the air out of the football. They're going to deflate it.
Yep. It's time. The draft is filled.
Oh, we did it.
So we moved around just like the top six a little bit, but from here we gotta get drafting. I gotta go find the draft though. All right, where are we? I'm in so many drafts right now. It's going to take me a minute to find this, I think.
Slow draft. Wait. Even the slows.
These are all slows. Yeah, these are all slows.
What are you drafting, Neil? What are mostly you're focusing on?
So right now I'm drafting a ton of rookies and sophomores.
Nice.
I just think people play it really extremely wrong.
Nice.
And there is like the sidekick's not available for it to correct people. So
right. Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to fill up rookies and sophomores. I'm still closing out some puppy butt superflex, still some of those going. Nice. And then I'm doing a little bit of like the puppy 2 or whatever the current puppy is. I had to do a couple slow Dalmatians. So yeah, I'm all over the place in terms of what I'm playing here.
I'm bummed I only got one Dalmatian. I try to do fast drafts only. I'm
okay.
I struggle with the slows, but I am doing slow marathons because it's one contest that I really want to try to get some volume in and see if I can just do it again.
And it's going to be tough to get volume in at the current fill rate.
Yeah, it's taken forever. But we got one.
Yeah. Here we get one in, and we will split the winnings for this.
What pick did we get?
We got the 9.
Yeah.
I think do they move this around a little bit? Or maybe I'm just used to DraftKings after doing it all of last week. Oh, we got the Shoups both on the end. We got line of scrimmage here at the pick after us. Nice. Thank you all for joining. Beastproof up. A lot of Go Easy cards. So many names here that I know. Thank you all for helping us build this one. What are you thinking here with the 9 hole? So Derrick Henry goes at the 8. I'm guessing he's a player that you like in this format. There's Puka Nakua, Ashton Genty, and anybody you want.
Puka, easy Puka here.
Okay, love that. Easy game.
Yeah. We just hope that he can get some touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's been struggling in that part of the field. He's so good from 20 to 20, but he struggles with the touchdowns. And it's going to be hard with Adams because Adams loves scoring touchdowns. But,
do you generally believe in that, or do you think it's noise? Trey McBride is a perfect example of has never scored touchdowns. Yeah. Do you think that's just he's just not good at scoring touchdowns, or do you think are you hopeful that there's going to be some?
I think it's noise, but I do think it's not gonna 180 itself. If anything, you might see 2 or 3 more to it. I also think there's just guys that get open better quicker.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah,
and they just why mess with something that's working so well? You know what I mean? They're not gonna just the shoe fits wear it type of mantra. And
Devontae Adams is perfectly okay. We are on the clock again. BTJ, Brock Bowers, AJ Brown, Bucky Irving, Ladd McConkey, JT?
Yeah, I think it's Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, they don't rank very well, but I think they're going to be throwing a ton.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be throwing a ton, and I think the new coach is very good at scheming guys wide open with good yak, and no one's better than Brian Thomas at that type of stuff, as we saw last year.
Yeah, that's right. It should be a pretty improved offense with Liam Cohen there. Yeah, I actually we talked about this on Friday night stream. Teams that like are pretty good bets based on their odds to win the Super Bowl, and I threw out the Jaguars at 90-1 as a team that's like, what if Travis Hunter is like the real deal, and Liam Cohen, really like this offense takes a big step forward. I'm like a little bit kind of believe that they're going to take a step forward this year. But at the very least, offensively, I think we can hope for it, and maybe hope that they don't defensively, so they're throwing all year.
Yeah, I mean, they have the right now, according to Sharp Football, they have the 6th easiest schedule. So, they should be in favorable game environments to put up points. Hopefully, they're one of those teams that find themselves in shootouts or find themselves, especially like middle down the road, trying to outscore people and not just deflate the football and run it all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So now that we've taken 2 wide receivers to start, are you now thinking like gotta start looking at other positions?
Yeah. Okay. Again, we don't want too many. I mean, if we have a crazy fall, that makes sense, but the 3rd round to me is very flat. Pretty much most contests. This one's a little bit different because of quarterbacks. I feel like Hurts might be an option for us to get one of those elite offensive plays. I like going elite quarterback. I think it's a powerful angle to take if you're a smart drafter with it.
If you just look at like the actual fantasy points scored, like for the elites at different positions, quarterback just separates more than any other position. So in these contests where you're just looking for like big scores throughout the year, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you can hope to, like using your term, do the Frankenstein thing where you're taking 3 quarterbacks late and hope that they just like line up perfectly throughout the year. But it's easier just taking elite. Yeah,
I personally like to take an elite and then still try to get 2 in the window that are stacked with my running back or my wide receivers. Like right now, we got Stafford and we got guy from Jacksonville, drawing a blank.
Wait, sorry, who are you saying?
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
So like if we can get an elite and then we still can get 3. We can still get 3 quarterbacks, 2 of them that are stacked with our biggest bets that we've made.
Yep. All right. We are almost on the clock here. So this is by ADP now. I don't have rankings for this contest. Okay. Jaden goes 1 pick before us. I think that was the hope, but we could go Kittle. We could go with one of these elite receivers. We could go James Cook here, actually.
Yeah. Let's bring up Cook. Let's get that.
Come on down. All right. I do need to give a thank you in chat. This is one of the first times this happened on this channel. Really cool. Of BB Meat Gazer just gifted out 5 memberships. Now all of you 5 can see the content. There's only one piece of content behind the paywall on this channel. That is the piece of content I did on the Eliminator. I think it's pretty good. So the 5 of you who just got those free gift memberships, you can check that out, and also join us in the Discord. There are a couple channels that are just for channel members, and of course got Mathology into those channels as well, so you can come in, ask any questions you want about these contests as well. But yeah, really appreciate that from BB Meat Gazer. That is very cool. Thank you. He
is hilarious. He's probably one of the funniest posters.
I'm just look at the name. It's just right there. You just know
he's so witty. And there's some great takes to his wittiness too. I always love when he posts.
Nice. All right, we're back on the clock, and it's just a sea of wide receivers by ADP. Do we just take another receiver here, or do you want to go like reach for Joe Burrow?
No. Let's just go Garrett Wilson.
Okay. Looking good. We've got James Cook, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas Jr., and Garrett Wilson. So a couple of week 8 buys, something we'll want to pay attention to a little bit, but I think we're
in this contest, it's you might have one bad week, but again, you can get away with, like last year's marathon winner had a week of like 70 points.
Really? Did they?
Yeah.
70 points? That's kind of insane.
You know what I mean? But he had a lot of like 160s, 170s. And he really put up like 147 points a week to win this contest last year. It was a 2682.
Would your lineup have beat his? Would it have scored more?
Yeah, my lineup was just an absolute.
I mean, it scored the most points out of 672,000 teams. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I would outscore him by 7 points a week. I think was the average.
Insane.
Like I was over 150 a week.
And that's 18 players instead of 20, right?
No, it was both 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both 18. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. But again, it's a very similar build. He had the Burrow, Chase and Chase. He did have an elite tight end with Trey McBride. It was a good team.
Yeah. To answer Tim's question, yes, I am still in Jeopardy. I won the losers bracket in Jeopardy. Pete has had to step out, but I'm going to be facing Nez in the next round of Best Ball Jeopardy on the Fanspeak channel.
Yeah. One interesting thing that he did is he handcuffed Henry with Hill.
Oh, that is interesting. What do you think of that handcuff?
I don't know yet. I'm going back and forth. I think the cost hurts you, but if you put the two scores together, it could, and it's the right team. Like Baltimore was last year.
Do we like Burrow here unstacked, or do you prefer somebody else?
Yeah, let's take Burrow.
I know you said you like stacking, but also elite quarterbacks are so powerful.
Yeah, let's get Burrow here. We got a couple of options later that we can tie with him. They're on pace to be the fourth most team. They score the most points, like the fourth most points scored in the NFL.
Right.
According to Vegas, at I think it's 445 points. To put that in comparison, the New York Giants are only projected to score 331 points. So you're looking at like a whole 100-point difference between the top end and the low end. So getting these elite offenses is worth it.
This guy Steve is a real jerk. Look at all these running backs he's taken. Not allowing us any running backs.
Yeah. Can't have nice things. Let's go Swift. We need a running back. We can't get boxed out.
All right. Is Swift the running back you want from this group?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Their O-line is pretty good. Strength of schedule. Let's see, where are they at with their stuff here? Yeah, they're top 10. Their strength of schedule is pretty tough, but their O-line is good. Projected to score a good amount of points.
Okay.
So it's not a huge Swift fan, but again, that's
betting on the offense. Yeah.
Yeah, betting on the offense.
What do you think of this take from WFM Warehouse? Says Lamb, Pickens, Dak, Javonte feels like a possible 24 Bengals scenario.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've been trying to scoop that up big time. I think that's sharp.
Meg agrees, by the way, that Steve is a real jerk. I'm pretty sure. Swift is climbing. Yeah. I mean, in this contest, especially.
Yeah. But it doesn't look like they're going to add. We thought they were going to add somebody for the longest time, and no one's. J.K. Dobbins didn't sign there. Chubb didn't sign there, so it's looking like it's going to be him.
Do you have an opinion about like where the running backs are going? Like, do you think Javonte is the running back to target there in Dallas? Do you have thoughts on like Jaden Blue? I take a lot of Miles Sanders. Are you just a Javonte guy?
I've been right now kind of waiting on camp news. I've been kind of going the cheapest route. I think it's a smart way to attack it. So yeah, I have a good amount of Miles Sanders. I've been mixing in some Blue a little bit. I do think that Dallas is going to throw the ball a ton. So I was like, I'd rather have that running back that's going to catch some passes or have some scheme stuff to him. So, but I don't know what to make of this new news from Blue yet. So again, I'm just trying to gather up more information, not being take locked. You see a lot of people get extremely take locked, and they gotta then argue.
Do you see we're on the clock? Sorry.
Yeah. We can't go
like
Junkins.
No, I queued up Shakir just in case, but do you like anybody else?
Yeah, I like it. Let's get Shakir. Good players and good teams.
Yeah. I figured he would meet your criteria. And also we've got the team stack now with James Cook.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yep. Yeah, let's not let quarterback slide for us. If we can get Fields, we should get Fields.
Okay.
And we should try to get Trevor where we can.
Yep. So maybe you're thinking a 3 quarterback team here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if we don't get Trevor, we could always like do Stafford.
Yeah. We still get Stafford. And we can still do something a little bit later too. We'll see what takes. I think at this point in time we might be just taking a bunch of dart throws at running back as the room kind of forced our hand here. So let's try to beat him I'd rather try to beat him at quarterback.
Okay.
But again, we're not really trying to win this room. We're trying to beat everybody else.
Right. You're immediately playing against everybody in a
right. Exactly. Yeah. It's only a 75,000 person contest. So there's only a little over, I think there's 6,255 draft rooms. So that's really our field size, 6,250. So it's kind of like a mid-stakes, like DFS tournament.
Yeah.
Like the $50, I forget what that blind side was on DraftKings. It's a very similar size contest as that one.
Right. Well, I mean, it's 12 times that, like that's the number of draft rooms, but then you're competing with everybody, right? So it's
right.
Yeah. So it's
but as those draft rooms, there's only X amount of builds that will be similar to yours. You know what I mean?
Right. I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. Joey Card says, "Is it bad? I thought I only had Chase Brown. I forgot I had Chase for the Burrow stack. Hate quarterback, running back only stacks." I mean, you could always. I guess we have Burrow now.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, my team that I had. I mean, granted, I took a rookie in the last or second to last round with my Hurts, but it was a Barkley Hurts. I had Barkley Hurts, and then I grabbed Jonathan Wilson in the 18th round for that stack. That was it.
Johnny Wilson, who got you, I think, 0 points on the year. That was.
I think he hit the lineup once for like.
Did
7.
He really? Okay.
He had like a silly touchdown late in the game when they were crushing somebody that ended up hitting the lineup at flex.
I drafted a fair amount of him last year, so I did not remember that he actually did something for me at some point.
Yeah, well, he could be another camp buzz. You never know.
That's true. He's somebody like nobody's drafted him right now, and certainly could. We get a little positive coach speak, and suddenly we're all drafting him. All right, we are back on the clock. You got the two running backs that we pretty definitely don't want here. Mark Andrews is there.
Where's did our quarterback go?
We took Justin Fields already.
Oh, okay, good, perfect.
Yeah, I queued up Mark Andrews. Is there somebody else you like?
Let's grab Andrews.
I promise you, Cam Scadaboo not making it back to us in this room. If you care
That's
about
fine.
that, okay.
Let him have it. It's fine. I'm not really in the Giants market other than Neighbors.
Right. He does not fit in your criterion at all. Ooh, Charlie goes Cam Scadaboo, who doesn't let Meg have him. That's hurtful. That's hurtful, Charlie. All right, so let's take a look. So right now we're at 2-2-4-1. Burrow, Fields, Cook, Swift, Puka, BTJ, Garrett Wilson, Khalil Shakir, Mark Andrews. I think it's a pretty solid start. We could obviously use some running back help, and the running backs at the top are kind of gross. If you see somebody else that you like, we can lean on others.
Let's see. I don't want to give out our trade secret yet.
Do you want to put it into a private chat?
Sure.
In StreamYard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had the same thought. So glad to see that.
Yeah, I'll speak on it after if it happens.
And he goes.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I think Dobbins is going to be really good.
Javonte, Najee Spears, Jordan Higgins.
I think we take the gamble on Najee.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'd take the gamble on it.
At this point, like we need help. So might as well it could work out and be a. Okay.
We don't know. It's all 100% speculation. We don't know anything. one thing that I do know in construction is we have a lot of eye injuries, and it doesn't matter how severe. You go see specialists with eyes. But another thing that eyes heal extremely fast. So I'm a little cautious. I love scooping it really late. This is not that late, but I like the Chargers. They're very a strong team. Got a really good offensive line. They got a pretty good schedule.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna score a lot of points. So
yeah, I think that's like a really great insight that like people were probably getting it wrong. Like, obviously, it could be a serious eye injury. Like that was the initial report. So I've still been playing it like it is something to be concerned about. But yeah, you threw that in Pete's Discord, and that did make me kind of think like, all right, maybe I shouldn't be. Actually, I took him in one of my Dalmatians. I think partially because of that, because he's fallen a little bit here.
Yeah,
maybe math is right, and he's actually going to be totally fine here. Good to use that kind of personal experience to know, like, first of all, it doesn't really mean that much that he saw a specialist, and then also, if you know that eye injuries heal up quickly, some when it fits.
Yeah, I think it's a severe severe situation because someone got really hurt in the event, and I think everybody's just given the space and time, and but he's already there, so that's a good sign. He's probably the biggest thing. They don't want to get infected. So sweating right now is not in his forte because it needs to heal. They're worrying about infection right now. So they want it 100% heal before he can start sweating. So that's what we're waiting on. Let's go Spears. Are we on the clock yet?
Yep. We're now on the clock. All right.
No.
Spears.
Yeah, no. Who's after? I can't see who's the other running back on the screen.
Ray Davis. We have James Cook.
Yeah, we can't cuck it.
Rashad White, Bashal Tootin also there.
Nah, let's go Spears.
Okay.
Tennessee's middle of the road. They got a pretty easy schedule. Maybe that defense comes alive and they can deflate the ball by running it quite a bit, especially with a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Could try to, especially early in the season, they could try to rely a little bit more on the running game.
Let me change up so you can see this a little bit better. I had done a different screen when I was doing DK drafts.
I'll zoom in on my side too. That might help.
What was I using? This one? It's a little bit bigger, right? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So we got Thomas, and then who did we take in the third round? Wilson?
Yep. We're back on the clock now. Christian Kirk is there. Bashal Tootin, Isaac Arendo.
Who's at quarterback? Are they all wiped out?
Oh yeah, Trevor's gone.
Yeah.
Stafford's
are we going to be able to get Stafford on coming back or no?
By ADP probably, but it's up in the air.
I like Kirk. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
How did you get the horns? What tourney did you take down?
I took down a golf tournament actually.
Nice.
It was I did a one of the like daily golf contests. Nice. It was one of those that just it looked like there was going to be overlay, so I jumped in like I was drafting at like 2 a.m. doing some of those. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's like I don't know golf that well, but I just like try to get combos that other people are not going to have, try to get those rare combos, and it worked out in one of those. Do you have the horns?
Not yet. I'm always the bridesmaid, man. I think I've come in second so many times.
And they don't give it to you for having the highest scoring regular season team in BBM. It has to be draft games. Do you play a lot of the like battle royales?
Yeah, I really got into it. I really DraftKings. I know you're kind of with them a little bit, so I don't want to speak too bad, but I had a hard time with their pricing last year. I hated their overall pricing. We're all playing 2 tight ends and was getting frustrating.
I mean, you can speak openly. I like DraftKings, but also it's for DraftKings Best Ball Week. I was a partner, and I'm going to be again in August.
Nice.
You don't have to like hold your language or anything.
It was just the pricing enforcement was just tough. I had a hard time with it. I couldn't quite solve that puzzle. So I started getting into draft games. I'm like, wow, I can get whoever I want. I don't have to worry about salary cap, and Xing all these potential guys out, where you can kind of try to build some super teams. I really enjoyed it.
Jerome Ford goes. Yeah, we're still at 2-4-5-1. Wait, did Stafford come back around? I don't think he did. We could go Cam Ward, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers.
Let's pair up with Ward. Let's get that third quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see anybody else that's like a must-have for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We do have the 2 week 10 buys. We got Field covering it, so I'm not really concerned about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and there's some later players that I like with Ward, so that I like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, like, that is a team that, like, you could see the case for them just outperforming what people are expecting. So even though they don't have a high, like, it's actually not a terrible purity score around 20th. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them outperform.
They definitely can. I mean, they have, let's see where their schedule's at. They have the 8th easiest schedule. So it's a team that if they get Uncle Mo on their back and they get some early wins and there's some feel good in the locker room, those are the type of teams that just like, oh, wow, they're putting up 24, 27, maybe 30 points here and there. And we got 2 of the players, and hopefully we can tack on a wide receiver here, a tight end potentially.
Anybody like right here? Should we look at running backs maybe?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to add. I mean, I'm fine taking Blue here and seeing if we can luck box into some long touchdowns.
Sure.
It's not great, but I think it's important to add on some these types of architect.
Yeah. I missed that we also had Tyjae Spears with Cam Ward. Is that what you were thinking? I totally missed that. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's we got how many picks left? 4?
Yeah, let's see. We are so we have four picks left. Let's read off the team and think about what we might need. So at quarterback, we have Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Cam Ward. Running back, James Cook, DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, Tyjae Spears, Jadon Blue. Wide receiver, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Khalil Shakir, and Christian Kirk. And at tight end, we have Mark Andrews. This is very much a when others are fearful, be bold team with Najee and Jadon Blue, like all the players that are people a little bit scared of right now.
Yeah, and again, it's not like the market is wrong. They just might be overconfident.
Right. Yeah, and also it's one of those rooms where we're kind of forced into it. Like this is a lot of people watching this stream are in this draft room with us. They are taking your advice, getting the players that we want on our team. So we're kind of like, all right, well, we can't get our first choice, so let's take a different approach. Yeah.
So I think we build out Titans at this point. We made that bet. We have Fields, right?
We do.
So
yep.
Is his tight end still available? Because he'll.
Yep. I think so.
Yeah, we would want Taylor.
Yeah, he would fit this team really well.
Let's grab Taylor just so we don't lose that. The buys are okay, right? With Andrews.
Yep, 9 and 7.
Perfect. Let's do that.
We also have Josh Reynolds, a player that I wouldn't mind in the if we didn't get him, but we got Taylor, so yeah, we don't have to worry about it. I mean, we're still good. Nice. So we've got Andrews and Taylor at tight end now. I don't know.
Yeah, rookie.
We're pretty good at receiver, I think.
Yep.
I mean, we probably want one more, but
we can just tack on a tight end.
Yep. Do we want to go 3 tight ends? Because that's another Chig is another tight end that we could consider.
Kind of at this point, I feel like this team needs a couple big swings at running back, wide receiver.
Okay.
I think I'd rather go that route right now.
Yep.
Again, we're trying to get total points, running backs. I mean, not to be super simple, but they score more points than tight ends.
Yep.
PPR.
No, you're right, and we need them.
So this is where like with Tennessee. Well, actually, with Burrow, one of the wide receivers that this is big risk stuff, but I really feel like they're going to give every opportunity to Burton to win the job.
Do you want to go with Burton here?
Yeah.
Or do you want to take a running back first? Because we can probably get Burton later.
Sure.
Do you like Nick Chubb, any of these running backs here?
After listening to some of the guys, I kind of like Keon Mitchell.
Got him. Nice. Okay.
He's got that potentially electric speed. There's a chance that they boat race everybody and he gets a lot of second half work. He could maybe hit the lineup a couple times for us, a couple long plays. Good player and good team.
All right, we've got Burton queued up. Do we want to like Alec Ayaman or anybody from Tennessee, or are we good with that? Just having the stack with Tajay.
Yeah, I want to take a swing at how many picks we have? 2 left or 1?
We have two picks left.
Oh, 2 pick, yeah. So we got a 3-6-5-2.
Yep.
And let me see the running backs again.
Our running backs are the ones that are available.
Our running backs.
Yeah, so we got James Cook, DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, Tajay Spears, Jadon Blue, and Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm guessing running backs are going to be kind of wiped. Yeah, why don't we try to do a backdoor Cincy with Tajay and Burton?
With
Tajay Brooks.
Taj Brooks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a little kind of like it's the JV Cincy, but maybe some injuries happen. It's thin, it's extremely thin. But
could work.
You never know.
That would be a 3-7-6-2 if that works out. So sort of an odd build, but I think it makes sense with this team, like with the talent we have here.
Yeah, with the draft capital. I mean, we're saying Thomas and whatever our first round pick was. I can't recall at this point in time.
Who do you think we need to go with first, Burton or Brooks?
Probably Brooks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I feel like Burton probably doesn't get drafted all that often.
Yeah, Puka.
A lot of people want Brooks. Yeah.
Puka and Thomas are both top 15 wide receivers. They're hitting their lineup like every week. And then we also have Garrett Wilson. So I mean, we're so strong at wide receiver. Like, again, I want these builds that are wide receiver shine. We don't want to handcuff ourselves too much by having too much, wide receiver issues on our team, because you start taking so many of them, then you're so weak at other positions.
Right. I'm queuing up a few other wide receivers just because we only have 5. We probably want one more just in case Burton goes.
Yeah.
Some other just.
I love Keenan Allen. I got so much Keenan. I can't. I'm.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Do you still want to go Burton though over Keenan, or what do you think? Okay.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's make that bet.
Yep. Yeah, I got him in. I've gotten him in a few drafts since we talked about Keenan Allen. You're earmarking Keenan Allen for 606. Is that right?
Yeah, 606. He had 707 last year. I think wherever he wants to win. So that's a good sign. He just wants to try a shot at making the playoffs and playing when it matters. So he should be tied to a good quarterback on a good offense, and at that price, I there's a lot of zeros that we're clicking right now, and I think he's pretty safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I felt that before, and it has not worked out for me taking these like the Leonard Fournettes of the world. But he does feel. I feel safer with Keenan because he's stated that he wants to play multiple times, and just feels like somebody's going to be like, yeah, we want this vet. The only issue is like, he's not going to go somewhere to be a bench warmer. So he has to go, like, a team's going to need a player who's actually going to play a good amount. So it's probably limited teams that are in the market for it. But I like the Chargers, like we talked about, probably would be a good fit. There are several other teams that might need him. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Injuries are going to, I don't know how many actual injuries we'll see in training camp, because actually they're not even playing anymore in August. They're mostly going through the motions. The most activities that they do are these in-game practices that they're doing with other teams.
Yeah.
But the players aren't really playing at all in preseason that much. So, the first 4 weeks of the season now is like spring training.
Right.
In September, the scoring is way down. to start the season, and then it kind of ramps up throughout the season as teams start really figuring out what they are and how to build and to be better in the postseason. They're all trying to stay healthy.
Yep. All right, final team. We got a lot of comments. Nick, we totally stacked up, Burrow. We got Taj Brooks and Jermaine Burton. But yeah, he was unstacked, but we took him just trying to get an elite quarterback on the team with plans to stack him later. Steve says this draft was tough but fun. Agreed. Yeah. Go Easy Cards asks, when you go wide receiver heavy early, should you look at buys?
In the marathon, I don't think buys. Again, the team that won it last year put up a week with only 70 points. I'm not saying it's going to repeat itself, but you can have a low scoring week and still be up to the top.
Yeah.
You're really chasing that ceiling outcome. I wouldn't go out of your way to pick a less good player just because of a bye.
Right. More just a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Beastbro says Keenan to San Francisco is his wet dream.
Mine too.
I kind of see that. Yeah.
Mine
Nick
too.
agrees. Or Pittsburgh. I think I prefer San Fran to Pittsburgh just because of the passing volume and I guess with Aaron Rodgers, maybe I should think about Pitt a little bit more.
Could happen.
Yeah, a lot of good opinions there. All right, let me read off the team so we can kind of give a review. How do we think it went for us? So we got at quarterback Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Cam Ward. Running backs James Cook, DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, Tyjae Spears, Jadon Blue, Keaton Mitchell, Taj Brooks. Wide receivers Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Khalil Shakir, Christian Kirk, Jermaine Burton, and then at tight end Mark Andrews and Mason Taylor. How do you feel about this team overall? What kind of grade would you give it?
C+.
All right, so not great.
Yeah, no, it's tough, to talk with ourselves and to think about how we're trying to do it. It's challenging, and then the room was difficult, So it was a tough build. I do think the team has a strong chance to advance, or not to advance, a strong team to have a pretty good ceiling. Yeah. Yep. I think we got the right type of layered in bets on drafting good players on good teams. Our running backs, I like our running backs, and I really like our wide receivers. So I think it'll do well.
Yeah, I think it's not the worst team. Like it's at least you could plausibly see this team do well in this contest. It's just like as Go Izzy Card says, RB Avalanche was real in this. Yeah, like we just didn't we wanted running backs, and we just kept on not having any great running backs available to us. So we had to reach for DeAndre Swift to make it happen. Yeah. It was tough in a lot of ways, but ultimately I think a fine enough team. WFN says maybe one less quarterback, one more wide receiver. I don't know. Our wide receivers are pretty strong. But I can see the argument there.
In this exercise, like drafting the marathon, you're going to know that this happens very frequently. Running backs kind of get wiped out.
Right. Okay.
So, and you kind of get the feeling how people are trying to build high floor teams through the running back place. And you can kind of use that with other contests too, and take advantage of the other rooms in other contests to be like, hey, why don't I try to go a little bit more heavy running back over here? Because it's going to be that high floor. It's going to be the high advance rate build to be top two to advance into the playoff structure. I think there's a lot of lessons learned in the marathon that you can also use at other contests.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. We're gonna. I guess we could ask this: when you have Burrow and Fields attacking on quarterback 3 mostly for this format, or do you do it in other contests like BBM as well? I do it in other contests as well. What about you, Math? Do you usually tack on a third?
Yeah, I'm really trying to go 3 quarterback. I think we're slowly seeing some really powerful data trickle in on just the power of it, the high floor, the high ceiling combination of having 3 good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I think it's a very powerful way to build for not only to advance and the pod dynamic structures, but also in this total points types of contest as well.
Yeah. People did ask us for some reviews. So if you have time, I guess I know you have a kid waiting for you at home. Do you have time to do a couple reviews? Okay. Yeah. Blazing Blades, let us know which team yours is. I couldn't immediately see it. Go AZ Cards asked us, since this is only marathon. He wants your opinion. He does not care about mine. That's fair. All right, we'll take a look at it. Go AZ Cards. The team is at quarterback, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa. Running backs, Chase Brown, James Conner, Tony Pollard, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, and Rico Dowdle. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, J-Mo, Jaden Reed, Diami Brown, and Michael Wilson. Tight ends, Sam Laporta and Tucker Kraft. So he's got Goff with J-Mo and Laporta.
Very nice.
He's got Love stacked up with Jaden Reed and Tucker Kraft.
Yep.
He's got Tua stacked up with Jalen Wright, Tyreek Hill.
Perfect. These are three layered team bats, very strong offenses. This is, I think you want to keep doing this over and over again. Mix up your teams, very structurally sound to be that high floor, high ceiling combination to be very successful. I think keep doing what you're doing. It's very sharp.
What do you think of the Connor and Benson handcuff there? Do you have a strong opinion?
The prices probably are okay. It's how many total running backs does he have?
6.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't want. I don't think you want to handcuff on a 4 or 5 RB room. I think 6 is a decent spot.
Yeah.
Zona loves to run the ball, and they did a lot last year. I think they're going to do a ton this year. Their offensive line, that's what they're best at is rush blocking, not pass protection.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Firefight Texas goes Jaden Daniels, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Running backs Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving, Tyrone Tracy, Javonte Williams, Spatial Tootin. Wide receivers Terry McLaurin, George Pickens, Zay Flowers, Debo Samuel, Matthew Golden, Jaden Higgins, and Kelvin Austin. Tight ends Jake Ferguson, Jonnu Smith, and Zach Ertz. So it's Jaden with Terry and Debo and Ertz. Triple stack there.
Very nice.
Aaron Rodgers with Kelvin Austin and Jonnu Smith. Kirk Cousins with nobody. Naked. Oh, but like maybe assuming Kirk Cousins is going to get traded somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Washington mate, alpha. I mean, he's got all the people that are going to score touchdowns for the most part. It'd be nice if you could have got an Eckler there, someone like that. But yes, strong team. I probably would have tried to gone a little bit stronger at QB2, but again, Rodgers, if he still has it, they could move the ball and he could do well there. And his wide receivers are all solid, and his running backs are he's got Henry and Bucky. I mean, that's a fantastic duo to have.
Yeah. Beastburf says we can look at his if we want. All right, we'll do Beastburf, then we'll get out of here. Beastburf has Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Anthony Richardson at quarterback. Running backs Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, Aaron Jones, Tyler Algier, Will Shipley, Emmanuel Wilson. Wide receivers Lad McConkey, DJ Moore, Tet McMillan, Jawan Jennings, Marvin Mims, Jalen McMillan. Tight ends Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, and Chig Okonkwo. So he's got Bo Nix with Marvin Mims, Brock Purdy with Jawan Jennings, and Anthony Richardson with
naked, probably.
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren, nice. Yeah. I mean, again, they're skinny snacks, but he's got 3 good teams there. Denver ranks high, so does Purdy. Works really high because of their schedule. Strength of schedule is the best that you can have, so they should be scoring a lot of points. Aaron Jones is kind of a wild card, but maybe he can score from distance. If that's the case, that running back room is going to be good enough to probably get you to where you want to get to. It's a good team.
Yeah, looks good. All right, very nice. All right, well, let's get out of here. But before we go, do you have anything that you want to? I mean, we got the homework assignment that you gave them, so we got to remind them of do the homework assignment that we talked about mid-show. Drop your the teams that you're targeting in the comments. Drop your team in the Discord, and anything else that you want to shout out where people can find you. Anything else?
No, yeah. If you want to bounce an idea or have a conversation, I love just talking to people about best ball. I love this game, trying to solve this puzzle, and I think the more that we can just keep building plus EV teams and put them in the bucket and show the fantasy gods, hopefully we'll get rewarded on the other end come week 17, and just keep doing it over and over as our bankroll allows that we can no longer play this game. But it's such a fun puzzle to solve, and I can't thank you enough, Neil, for the opportunity to talk to you weekly to hopefully get better. And hopefully one of us, or hopefully both of us, have a big hit this year.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, no, I'm really happy that you reached out. Excited to do this with you. Thank you for reaching out. Yeah, you can find Math on Twitter at Mathology13. Find me at PlayerQDFS, but also, yeah, if you got one of those free memberships, or it's $5 a month if you want to join, I've got an Eliminator video behind the paywall. I think a lot of people are drafting the Eliminator pretty poorly, so give some advice there on just easy fixes to draft better Eliminator teams. But otherwise, if you just like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the little notification bell if you want to get alerts when shows go live. And of course, commenting, always helpful. So another reason to drop your 3 favorite teams to target under the video. That's going to do it. This video is going to redirect to the Fantasy Sanctuary, to Tom and Tyler over there. They've got a great show going on right now with Jake Tribby. Go check that out as well. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you later.